morning. Let me start with something that is not on our agenda today, but I just come from an informal working breakfast with the foreign minister of the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, together with foreign ministers of member states. And let me say that we are all very encouraged by the progress made, especially on the negotiations with Athens, between Skopje and Athens on the name issue. So we'll all work to support and accompany, hopefully, a positive outcome of these important negotiations. Today on the agenda of the foreign ministers, we have first and foremost our work to preserve the nuclear deal with Iran. You know that we've been acting already at the European Union level to put in place a set of measures to make sure that the nuclear agreement is preserved and the economic investments from the European side, but also from other sides in the world are protected. Today we will discuss this further with the member states for the first time since the announcement of the US withdrawal from the agreement. This will allow member states to contribute and complement on their side to the measures we have put in place on the level of the European Union. I will update the ministers on the good joint commission meeting we had last Friday in Vienna, where the remaining countries without the United States met at the level of deputy ministers, together also with Director General of the IAEA, Amano, that certified for the 11th time that Iran is fully compliant with all its nuclear-related commitments on the deal. So we'll work on this. We will also have with the ministers the opportunity to exchange and take decisions. So you will see a set of conclusions adopted today on the situation in Venezuela after the elections last week. We will also tackle the situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, our negotiations with Africa, the Caribbean, the Pacific countries for the post-Cotonou framework, and we will have a discussion with the ministers on the situation in Gaza. As you know, the commitment from the European Union and member states to continue to work for a two-state solution with Jerusalem as the future capital of both states is solid, and we will brainstorm a bit with the ministers on how we can try to move this agenda forward.
High Representative, you are Italian. Are you concerned about the situation because the new elections are actually also a danger for the Eurozone and for the EU?
I have full trust, as I believe all Italians have, in the Italian institutions, starting with the Italian president, that is the guarantor of the Italian constitution, that is a wonderful constitution, very solid. So I'm confident that the Italian institutions and the President of the Republic will prove to be, as always, serving the interest of the Italian citizens. That, by the way, coincides also with the strength of the European Union. I noticed today that the level of trust that Italians have in the European Union has gone up in the last days. It's now to 41%. I believe this is something we should all reflect on.
What do you expect after the Iraqi election?
About the situation in Gaza, please. Has the EU provided any kind of exit from the situation now that it is very difficult, as you warned before?
We warned that political moves might have brought consequences, and unfortunately we are proven to be right. We would have preferred not to be right in this occasion. We are in close contact, especially with our partners in the region, starting from Jordan. I just spoke with the foreign minister a couple of days ago, but also Egypt, the Arab League, and obviously our counterparts themselves, Israel, Palestine, and our American friends, obviously, to try and, first of all, avoid that further losses of lives happen, and that the humanitarian situation is tackled. Very important work we're doing together with Norway to bring in humanitarian urgent aid, and you know that the European Union in this is a champion. But all the work we can do on that side needs also a political horizon, and this is why we keep the objective and the perspective of the two states on the agenda. We believe it is essential to do it, to give hope to the people of Gaza, but also not only of Gaza, also of the West Bank and Jerusalem and the entire Arab world.
Iran needs guarantee. Can EU give him this guarantee?
I believe we have been working enormously these weeks together also with Iranians and with France, Germany and the UK, but also with all the other member states, and some other international partners, to clarify one point, that the European Union decisions are taken by Europeans, are not exposed to decisions taken elsewhere, and we have the instruments to accompany and protect our economic investments, especially when they match our security interests. So this is the exercise we're doing. Nobody believes it's going to be an easy exercise, but we are determined to do it. Thank you. I'll meet you after. For us, a very important moment, the outcome of the investigation. You know, the European Union has always been fully supportive of the investigation exercise, and we together at 28 reaffirmed our full support to the outcome of these investigations, to the efforts to bring accountability, and we call upon Russia to take its responsibilities and contribute to the efforts to establish accountability. Thank you.
Do you expect anything?